confused so that you can't be knocked out of the tournament without playing both formats.
Yes, exactly.
So it's not like you can have one bad deck choice, run bad with one deck or hit bad matchups with one deck and be out of the tournament.
Yeah.
The fact that you get to back it up with both decks gives you a lot more leeway, and lets you really be able to make your mark in one, but you got to be able to at least win in both a little bit.
Yeah, totally agree. We almost should experiment with a triple elimination one where you got to the third losers bracket is the third format. You got to play them all on day 2. That would be fun. So, all right, we are getting this going here. We'll see if we got any hand cams working. Galdecott does have it downloaded. It just wasn't working this time. But oh, look at that masterpiece here. Got them both going. Gonna be a nice one here. So, all right, looks like maybe a mulligan from Galdecott. Looks like one card short, but still a perfectly functional hand here. Has Unholy Heat available. Probably going to be priced in to Unholy Heat this giver, especially in response to a drum. I would think Galdecott is going to do this here. There could be a protection spell, but man, Happy Sandwich's hand is bad if they do not draw a land.
It is very bad. They're going to need a land
or an Ornithopter.
Yeah, or 0-mana creature. I imagine they will play, I guess, another drum here. That said, if they do draw land, their hand could end up being excellent. Galdecott here pretty well set up to tap out for a Wren. If play the other drum. If there's another white source, especially, we could see Happy Sandwich go Pure Steel Paladin, play a hammer, draw a card, use drum, play another hammer, draw a card, equip both of them to the Paladin.
Is it 22-22 good? All right, big draw step for hammer. For Happy Sandwich, I mean it. Oh no!
It's a Spell Pierce. That's not going to do anything.
But here comes the hammer just to get it down. And I guess we can Urza Saga for a creature, right? We can Urza Saga for an Ornithopter and have something. If you're going to not draw land, a Spell Pierce is probably the next best. Still not ideal because Wren alone will help you cast an Indomitable Creativity or Transmogrify if you were able to find one, but at least you could counter a Fable here if you want to.
And I imagine they would. Fable is such a powerful card in this archetype, and you're so light on mana. I think just getting good value out of your Spell Pierce is important.
Totally agree with you.
And Galdecott really thinking here as well. The casting of that Colossus Hammer really signifies that there's a Pure Steel Paladin back in hand. And maybe Galdecott wants to bluff a removal spell around it, but there's only so much you can do for that. It's pretty clear that there's no second white source for Happy Sandwich, but Galdecott I'm sure knows that Urza Saga, as we noted, can find a Memnite or an Ornithopter to turn on one of those drums for colored mana.
Yep, totally agree. Yeah, if this was a land here from Happy Sandwich, being able to make a Saga or just Paladin, you probably just do that unless it was like an Urza Saga or something. Would have been huge, but no such luck. And that's kind of how Hammer is. It's always that pressure point of a draw, pretty much every draw step, because it is just, you really need the perfect amount of lands to creatures to Hammer ratio, So it is a deck that demands a lot from it, but that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah, unfortunately, in this case, the choke point was creatures to turn on drum, and that's the easiest thing for Galdecott's deck to interact with.
And to have 2 drums in general is pretty bad. The hand was good enough outside of that I think you're kind of priced in, but I also think you're pretty priced into Spell Piercing here.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Even though, we have perfect information and we know that there's not a creativity or anything like that for next turn, but
now the good news for Galdecott is getting that Spell Pierce out means that if Happy Sandwich just goes for a Paladin and double equips it, you can immediately fetch for a Dwarven Mine and creativity it if you have the creativity.
Yeah, I was going to say. We do not see that as of now. There's Fable again, or you can Expressive or something, but I was going to say, we don't just win here, right?
No, need to tap that one. But we do get, I guess now we get to play a hammer and equip both creatures.
Yeah. Wow, this game would have been over if they top decked that Plains in the other order. Because then they get this Ginger Brute. Oh, God. Okay, where do you strap these?
Then the untapped Paladin, I guess. Oh, no, we're going all in on a... I guess knowing that you have 2 Paladins... I'm not sure it makes
You
a huge
pass your
difference.
left hammer here, you pass your right hammer here.
Yeah, this is pretty bad news actually for Goldicott because creativity is not going to be able to clean it up. One Archon won't be enough
No.
because you can create 2 lethal. I guess once you gain 3 life, they're not lethal attackers. So 1 Archon could jump block and keep you alive for a turn.
Well, no, because you can just equip hammer to the gingerbread and then
Oh,
just give
yeah.
it haste.
Yeah, true.
So you can just sack one of the paladins here. So yeah, I'm
So
with you.
that's not going to be enough, nor is a leyline binding going to be enough because there's 2 hammers. So not sure what Goldicott can do to get back into this game.
I think I know what you can do. You have to expressive iteration into double ley lines binding on the 2 hammers, and then ping down gingerbread. I think that's like the only line that makes any sense.
Is there another untapped white source in Goldicott's mana base?
That's a very good question too. This mana base is very taxed.
Yeah,
We have the one
only
Sacred
one
Foundry.
Sacred Foundry, and then there's Jetmir's Garden, and not even a Rogred Priam, it seems. So, yeah, I don't even think that is a possible line because of the constraints of the mana base.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't see a way out of this.
Yeah, the mana bases on these creativity decks are always extremely greedy. But that being said, not what you can do. Okay, if there is one ley lines binding here, which it kind of looks like there is.
I think if we top, well, actually, we can stall for a turn with a leyline binding because then we also have a Dwarven Mine to block the big paladin. So a leyline binding here will buy us a turn.
Yeah, because you just have to. You take a hammer and then you ping gingerbread, right?
Well, you take the gingerbread, probably, and then maybe you just take the hammer.
You have to, right? Because otherwise you strap the other hammer and the 2 paladins attack. Yeah, you do this, you ping gingerbread. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Oh, and then we can ping it. Okay.
Yeah, because if you do it any other way,
yeah,
it doesn't work.
With the Ren ping. Yeah, now you're fine. Okay.
So, I mean, hey, then with another paladin that's not that great, creativity was picked up. There's only going to be one target as it stands right now. But
another paladin.
But
there's another creativity. So we can just do this on back-to-back turns. But that's only going to deal with 2 creatures, but it's going to draw. It's going to
so
give you some life.
Your Archon's going to have to chump. You're now in chump block territory with your Archon of Cruelty, but it is going to slowly eat a paladin, slowly gain some life. Where there might be a point where Goldicott can take a hit from paladin with a hammer.
What if we start this turn with Fable? Use that to chump this turn and set up a creativity for 2 next turn.
That's an option too. I'm more incentivized to creativity twice since you have 2 creativities, but I think it's close. I think it's truly close. I don't know which one's correct.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're a little short of being able to creativity this turn, then Fable plus creativity next turn. We would have 6 mana next turn. That would be 1 short. So, yeah, interesting. We'll see what Goldicott decides to do. I think creativity is a safer play for this turn, but there's a pretty strong payoff for going for Fable into creativity for 2.
Yeah, and honestly, Hammer is a deck that, like, yeah, if they top deck Hammer, you're dead. They top deck Stoneforge, you're dead. But that's like it, like
you're still not dead because you can block with the Dwarf too. So you're not automatically dead to a Hammer. Now, if they draw a Hammer, they're also going to Ancestral off of that Hammer. So that might be a problem.
Yeah. Okay, going with your line. I like it. It is definitely more a high risk, but much higher reward here.
You also have to dodge the Shadow Spear. Sigarda's Aid is a brick.
Yeah, so now look at this. You can block with Dwarven Mine, keep the Shaman around. That generates a treasure and another creativity target. You can creativity for 3, but there's only 2 Archons left in the deck. Because one's in hand and you're about to get... Wait, no. I was going to say we didn't get one this turn. So yeah, you can creativity for 3.
And that is going to completely turn this game around.
Oh my God. Goldicott has set this up beautifully where this, with a Sigarda's Aid, he just fist pumped. Goldicott is going to end this turn at 13. Okay, sorry, 12.
And unless he draws an Archon.
Yes.
So you got to avoid the reverse 3-outer. There's an Unholy Heat. That's a great draw.
Okay.
And now
Goldicott's going a little fast.
Yeah, pick up a land. There's only 3 Dwarven Mines in Goldicott's deck. But it does have 1 left to find. The exact last one we need.
I'd like to attack with this Goblin Shaman. Oh, baby, everyone buckle up. You thought the World Cup was the craziest game you were going to see today, but have no fear. It's going to be this game because this is excellent.
Mbappe who?
Yeah.
Yeah, creativity for 3 on the 2 creatures and the treasure token. That's going to clear Happy
I
Sandwich's
have 3
board.
triggers.
Yeah. Incredible stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's one way to get this game done here. Holy cow. Yeah, let's take a look at this Hammertime deck as they sideboard. What does Happy Sandwich do against that kind of nonsense?
Well, you're definitely going to want these extra counter spells. I think the 2 mana leaks and the spell pierce.
Yep.
You could talk me into the path just in case an Archon gets onto the battlefield. There is only 1 basic in their deck to even find.
Is Sanctifier and Vec shutting down the Persist good enough? Because it does do that, right? If Archon goes to the graveyard, it gets exiled?
Yeah, there is no Persist in Goldacott stack.
Oh, okay, okay. My bad, my bad.
He's not playing that angle at all. He's instead going for these Worldly Councils and Remands.
I like that better. Just a much more controlling deck is able to play that controlling game plan and then all of a sudden do that. You know, because that's what I love about Breach. You know, you get to play this controlling element. You get to play this kind of mid-range game. You know, they're doing it with Ren and Fables. We're doing it with Regavan, Ledger Shredder. And then all of a sudden, you just have an I win button. So these style of decks I'm a big fan of when you're in Modern. The all-in style of like, I mean, do you remember like Esper Reanimator that was popular when we were playing the Indie and stuff? It's like these all-in decks that are trying to play bad cards to get your Archons into the graveyard and then persist them back. Like, but otherwise they're not good cards on their own. I dislike those decks a lot more. So, all right, let's take a look at Galdacott's list while they sideboard. See what he is going to be doing.
Yeah, we've got some Besagis that should be excellent. We've got some Wear Tears that should be excellent. Maybe you want Hard Evidence as an early blocker, but in this matchup, usually the attackers are really big.
Yes. Yes.
So not as valuable there. I agree with your point earlier. I think Titan of Industry is actually better than Archon in this matchup, just because the Disenchant mode gives you control over what dies, and you can potentially kill a Hammer or a Sigarda's Aid if the battlefield dictates that those are the highest value permanents. So, like Titan of Industry over Archon, I think we'll see that swap, and we'll just see a little bit more interaction.
I love it. I totally agree with you. As we see Esper Sentinel hint the game for round 1, we do have an update from one of our players here. Our third seed who had a bye got absolutely dredged 2-0 again. So we are Raging Machismo is now 4-0 so far on the day with good old-fashioned Narcomoebas and prized amalgams.
Can't wait to catch that.
We might have to catch that one here after this. That's pretty impressive stuff. So have no fear for Anson, though. Anson will be picking up their Pioneer deck.
We do see the Path Exile came in for Happy Sandwich since it's in their opening hand. A much more stable opening hand here with the land drops to pay for this Saga. So they're going to be able to play a more resilient game rather than being all in super quickly and just kind of crossing their fingers.
Yeah.
And
that being said, Goldacott's hand is insane. Wear Terror is just looking absolutely amazing as well. You know, we're probably going to have to bite the bullet of, you know, maybe play Unholy Heat or play Ren on the Esper. Give them a draw here. Probably have to. That's brutal because you don't want to Unholy Heat Stoneforge Mystic first. Yeah, like you have to just do this. Bite the bullet. Now you have Unholy Heat for the other Esper Sentinel. It's kind of the same. So now Galdacott has that decision. Do I just let you draw another card and Ren and 6 you? Or do I Unholy Heat and pay? We'll see. I can see either play, to be honest.
It's going to give them the other card. We could have also seen a Besagio on the Esper Sentinel. It gives them a land, but it doesn't let them draw a card.
Yeah, I think that one's a little less likely, but
okay. I think we will likely. I guess we drew a 1-drop, so we can play this Giver and then use the drum to be able to activate Saga. Just trying to generate max value here.
Yeah, it's now Saga time. Saga time to be able to deal with this here. Now, there is going to be an option to Wear Tear. Either just deal with the Saga or deal with the drum as well. I'm kind of a fan of just trying to deal with the Saga. I mean, you could deal with the Saga and the Construct, though, which is actually pretty tempting.
I think this is a pass to your end step. Wait till you make a Construct. Wear Tear them both.
I think I like that.
And, you know, that looks like a 2-for-1, but it's the Saga that generated the Constructor free. That's a 1-for-1. The Stoneforge Mystic generated a card. Esper Sentinel drew 2 cards.
Yeah.
There's a lot of card advantage early in this game for Happy Sandwich. It's going to allow him to play through this removal pretty effectively.
Yeah, I'm starting to think this Urza Saga card might actually catch on.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Pretty impressive.
It's better when you search for a Mox Amber that ends the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm a bigger fan of that one.
We're not bitter at all, though.
Yeah. No kidding. We're not disappointed in every player in this top 8 by any means. Top 11, excuse me. But yeah, we're probably going to see that play kind of spelled out exactly like we were thinking. I just want to bring some attention to just how great of Magic players both of these players are. You know, Caldecott has been dominating events as of late. Happy Sandwich, Moto, absolute end boss. Really cool stuff. Caldecott, I was chatting with pretty closely at the World Championship, was Nathan Stoyer's +1 to help him practice in between rounds for the World Championship. If you got Nathan Stoyer trusting you that much as that's your practice buddy in between rounds, you're probably pretty good.
So pretty good practice buddy to have because Goldicott does so much Magic Online playing.
Yeah.
You know that's a guy who is aware of everything.
Yes.
Nothing is going to catch him off guard. That's a great person to have in your corner.
Yeah, it's one of those grinders where, like, these are the people I want to be talking with right now. Sure, Paulo's an amazing player. You know, Mike Sigris, all these old school pros. But they're not playing at the level and the amount of games that Caldecott is, Nathan Stoyer, you know, all these people online. So these are the players I want to be asking questions to. Sorry, Siggy and Paulo, if you're listening, you know.
We want the people in the trenches.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Goldicott here took a very long think about whether they wanted to answer the construct with the wear half of Wear Tear or the drum and try to cut off Happy Sandwich's mana. We can see Happy Sandwich's hand. And given that, I think it was much better to kill the construct.
Much better.
But the Stoneforge Mystic is an excellent draw because we do have the Giver of Runes to help protect it. So this Unholy Heat, not going to be able to kill Stoneforge Mystic. And we already know the Calder completes in hand from the previous Stoneforge.
Oh, God, that was a sick draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy cow. Stoneforge Mystic summoned to the top. I'm guessing Happy Sandwich already has Stoneforge Mystic framed, but, you know, probably going to do it a little extra more if it is indeed Happy Sandwich taking down this tournament. And a reminder to everyone, this is $10K up top. $10,000 to the winner here, as well as the top 2 finishers get a little bonus here where they get the
second
double
Ren
ping
here.
Got him.
So
would you like to respond? Bang! Unholy Heat that. You can mana leak it though, right?
Yeah, no, we can still mana leak. And I think that this is an excellent spot to mana leak in.
Wow.
Yeah, Goldicott really far down on resources now. You actually have a Path Exile that can deal with an Archon of Cruelty. That said, if we can fire off a Creativity for 2, which, you know, Goldicott has the capability of doing if he draws the Creativity.
I thought we were waiting till the next set to be completing things, but I guess we're doing it now here. Culture Complete, going to be coming down. There's no reason not to do it. Probably going to come after that Ren and just make sure to take your opponent off materials. But Seju now does not interact with Culture Complete, though, correct?
Well,
in no way,
you
shape,
can
or
target
form?
it.
You can target it, right?
They're going to get a land.
Good. Excellent. So here we go. Playing that creature first to be able to leave up 1 mana to have Path available. Indestructible card. I was messing around with some Teamer Breachless, and you know what's pretty fun? Sacking Haywire Might to target Culture Complete. I did that a couple of times, and I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, that is excellent. The other Stoneforge Mystic here finds a Shadow Spear. So we've got Hammer Shadow Spear in hand that Goldicott knows about. He does not know about the Path Exile. And really doesn't have much going in his hand at this point. He had a really heavy removal hand, and that early Esper Sentinel and these Stoneforge Mystics generating a bunch of card advantage for Happy Sandwich, not to mention the Urza Saga, has really made it pretty easy to grind through all of that removal.
Yeah, it really has. Esper Sentinel, once again, the card I hate the most in Modern out of any other Magic card, because it's so good against me baby. But
I would have agreed with you until last weekend, but now it's Fury.
Oh, yeah? Does that make you furious?
Yeah.
Well, blame Brad. I think he helped design that one. So
I'm pretty adept at blaming Brad for things. So
okay, good call. Yeah, I've been doing it my whole life as well. It's the little brother mantra, you know. It's pretty much what you have to do.
Germ Token comes in and takes care of the Ren, and now not much going for Goldicott. Gets a Xander's Lounge. Really needs to find a Leyline Binding. That's the answer to Calder Complete here.
Yeah, good point. All right, we see Dwarven Mine and a Lightning Bolt as some way to interact with the 1/2s, but that's not it.
There's another hammer, not a great draw since we have no way to equip them.
Probably getting that silent clearing into the bin to start this off. Great choice in basics here from Happy Sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Not so much from Galdecott.
Oh, I love that mountain.
Do you?
Yeah, that's another Odyssey mountain. We've got an Odyssey basic land mirror match right here.
Wow. These boomers.
Yeah, that's my favorite Odyssey mountain.
Okay, okay. It's so basic, but just like you, I guess. So
Well, it's got the snowcap mountain in the back.
let's get you to bed there, old guy.
Both will take down one of these stone forges. That looks like it's a little premature, but if you notice, Goldicott has exactly 13 life, and this cuts down the damage output to 6, which makes it exactly a 3-turn clock. So
Okay.
I think a very wise use of that lightning bolt.
Good call, good call. Yeah, Galdecott kind of have all the angles under wraps, but yep, big draw step here. Gonna need something big. It's a dwarf.
Well, 2 dwarves can team up to block a Stoneforge Mystic. If we equip Shadow Spear to it, you got the Passaggio on that. But then
Yeah.
Path to Exile could hit one of the dwarf tokens.
Okay.
There's a
Blacksmith
Blacksmith skill
skill.
might end this game.
Now let's highlight over Culture Complete here. I want to double check. Oh, there's a
Oh.
Pierce to a Paladin as well. But yeah, this is indestructible haste, and whenever it deals damage to a creature, so no trample of note. But this Paladin is going to enter the body bag phase of this. Now, that being said, yeah, okay, so we do this, and now in response to the Boseiju, Blacksmith skill can actually go at the Shadow
Yeah.
Sphere. So this should just be GG. Oh, look. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You just need one creature here to prevent this.
Yeah, this is the Blacksmith skill into Pure Steel were 2 excellent draws off the Silent Clearing for turn, and that's going to end.
All right, game 3. We wouldn't have it any other way. Now, a reminder, everyone, if the loser of this, not losing at all, they will be going to that lower bracket where the further you make it in the winner's bracket, the kind of higher seated you will be in the loser's bracket.
Yeah.
And, so their tournament is not done if they do end up losing. But naturally, you just want to exo this and be like, I don't want to have to play around. I don't want to have to go and play my Pioneer deck. And I believe with how the structure works, there will be exactly one player that goes undefeated through Modern, and it's just the Modern end boss to play against somebody who has risen up from the ranks.
Yeah.
So a really cool system we got on our hands here.
And we can also update you and say that
We got our first player out of the tournament.
Yes, that was Nakashima defeating Mental Misstep in the lower bracket.
Yep.
I believe Nakashima, one of our Rakdos mid-range players, taking down and is it Phoenix? So good matchup to get there when your back is against the wall.
Yep, absolutely. And that was that Creativity player that we were checking on in the first round. So Creativity, both decks still alive, and we are down to 10 players here with Mental Misstep taking an early exit. Thank you, and congrats to them for being a part of this tournament.
I was going to say this hand from Goldicott looks a little land light, but then I saw the Renin 6 at the end, so everything's fine.
Uh-oh, is that a big mulligan here from Happy Sandwich? There's a lot of cards moving around here.
Yeah, that's a mulligan to 5 here, and they've... Yeah, I think you've got the drum as your second mana source, so you kind of
You got to keep Esper Sentinel, right? Yeah. I think you got to get rid of Mana Leak, probably Blacksmith skill, and keep the cards.
Yeah.
Okay, gets rid of it, though. Wow. Just saying, you know what? I need land too, and Esper Sentinel is not going to get it here for. So it's going to be a case for Happy Sandwich with this unfortunate double mulligan, where if we go for drum, we need to, top deck a land. Doesn't go for drum. We'll get to Spell Pierce this round. This is actually insane.
Spell Pierce could end up being a key draw because Goldicott only on the 2 lands, really relying on this Renin 6 to make his land drops.
Yeah.
Does draw a land there and Boseiju.
Does Goldicott not go for it is the question here. And I think it's within his range. Love it.
Yeah. And there's a land. That's a good land.
Okay, let's see if now Happy Sandwich needs to go for it. This is a staring match here a little bit. Just being like, I don't want to go for it yet. Do you?
The interesting thing next turn will be, does Happy Sandwich play Stoneforge Mystic? Because they can theoretically hold up Spell Pierce with the drum, but Goldicott will be able to end of turn Lightning Bolt the Stoneforge, untap land my Ren with no resistance.
I would think he would be going for it. We'll see if there's another land, but also Spell Pierce is running out of time to be super effective against Ren because, Happy Sandwich does not know Goldicott is on a 3-lander. So if Goldicott just plays land 3, all of a sudden Happy Sandwich is like, okay, my Spell Pierce is worse now. It's faded through the turns where maybe my opponent never had a Ren in the first place. Maybe they did.
And now we could end up with a big draw from Happy Sandwich. Another land here would either let them play Stoneforge with both skill and pierce up,
Yeah.
or just hold up the Urza Saga and start grinding value with that.
Yeah. And honestly, with Stoneforge going to get a hammer, with Urza's Saga going to get a hammer, a land with 2 pieces of backup up against a deck that's kind of clunky, realistically, this could easily be just Happy Sandwich winning easily. Bowl to 5, like that's the power of hammer. If you draw what you need here. So far, draw step number 1 that had to be there, Urza Saga, or any land, it was there. Now, if we get that other land, then all of a sudden Happy Sandwich is looking not bad.
Hey,
That being said, another land for Galdecott.
yeah, so finds another land. That's what he needed. Maybe wants to go for the Ren now because they can still hold up Lightning Bolts, but at this point, you're pretty confident that there's a Spell Pierce on the other side of the table.
Yes, or it's a sick bluff. Or, I mean, to be fair, Galdecott's going to take, or I mean, Happy Sandwich is going to take 2 there and pass if they didn't have a play, because that 2 damage life swing doesn't really matter in this matchup. This is not one of the matchups where you're going to get the Dwarven beatdowns. That's just not the game that's going to happen. Hammer is too dynamic. They have 1/2s, Squire's gonna come at your dwarves real good.
Very, very true. So would be a reasonable bluff if it was a bluff.
Yeah.
Happy Sandwich, but as we can see, it was not. Sacred Foundry comes in tapped. Yeah, I think they are once again holding the Ren, saying I can play it next turn because I've drawn enough lands.
Esper Sentinel.
So that one cannot be cast with both action spells up.
Neither of them can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a big turn.
But I think you have to do it. I like it. But this is going to unlock things for Galdecott. And if Galdecott is able to find a fetch land, end step Lightning Bolt here, paired with fetch land creativity, we have an Archon on the battlefield, or Titan of Industry, depending on whatever Galdecott has. Titan of Industry would be insane. You get to destroy the land and put in 11 power.
That would be quite good.
Bang. Want to protect it?
I gotta play one of them.
Yeah, Spell Pierce is getting bad at this point. Might as well play it. You don't want to hold up mana all the time.
And this is actually a feel good moment for Galdecott. He read the Spell Pierce and he finds out it was there.
Big draw step.
Ooh, that's a bad one.
That was not it. But we do have Ren here. But yeah, I mean, this is not amazing. We have Ren to go get this, and now you have Boseiju as a piece of interaction. But that being said, we just picked up a Pure Steel Paladin. And this is going to be one of those turns that frighten me.
So we can find like a 0-drop creature.
You can find another drum. Let's keep that in mind.
Yep.
I don't think that's a solid play, though.
Either way, we're maxing out at 2 extra mana this turn. So we could go 8 hammer and have 1 hammer equipped. We could find a hammer, play Pure Steel, but then we can't play another hammer. Yeah, just a little short on mana to have a really big turn here.
So I got a question for you. If you had a hammer, would you hammer in the morning? Would you hammer in the evening? Or what would be your hammer regimen?
I don't know how to make a joke off of that.
Okay,
sorry.
Good. We can't hit a home run every time.
Yeah.
We normally do, but I mean,
one of us does at least.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get there soon, buddy. All right, we got the wild cookie, and now let's see what we're gonna pair with this. It's Sigarda's Aid. Are we just going double hammer FT dubs? It's not gonna work because the Boseiju is there, but this might be Happy Sandwich just saying, shrug. Oh wait, we do only have 1 hammer.
Yeah,
That's right.
Only
okay.
1 hammer.
But you can blacksmith skill this.
But what if we hit the 8 in response?
Okay.
You can't skill the 8, I believe, right?
I don't
think
think
target
so.
permanent.
But target permanent.
Okay,
if it's an artifact creature. Yeah. Blacksmith skill is a messed up magic card.
Yeah. I thought it was artifact or creature, but yeah, any permanent. So this Boseiju will get countered by blacksmith skill.
And they'll get to play Esper Sentinel. Because you get a land off Boseiju still. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But that will just die to Ren, so maybe they don't play it. Maybe they don't even do anything to this. Who knows? Let's see where this cookie goes. I think I like just going face here. See what Happy Sandwich did.
Now, So there's an awkwardness here because Goldacott got Xander's Lounge on the previous turn, and they thought about that fetch for a while.
Yeah.
They can't get Dwarven Mine and activate Besage here. They
Ooh,
need to get a
yeah,
green
good
source.
point. Good point.
And the other, if they don't get a Dwarven Mine, they'll only be able to creativity for 1. And Blacksmith skill actually counters that. You can
Does
give
it?
the dwarf creativity. Abdominal creativity reads for every creature destroyed this way. So that doesn't actually
Oh,
destroy the creature. You don't get a new creature to replace it.
well, then this is just game because creativity for 2 here is Galdacott's best play next turn on the 2 dwarves. And if you can counter one of those, you sacrifice the Stoneforge Mystic after you take 11 this turn, and then you just give it haste or you give it unblockable.
But if Goldacott goes for the Besage and you use the skill to stop that,
Okay.
which you probably have to because it'll. But he doesn't. Then a creativity for 1 for a Titan would have been good enough.
Oh yeah, this could be Titan too. I just keep thinking Archon of Cruelty.
I guess it's
Archon.
Archon's
It's Archon. Yeah. So this is the decision Happy Sandwich has put in. Like, do you want to make it unblockable? Or do you want to let the chump here?
That's interesting to me that Goldacott likes Titan against Murktide, but prefers Archon against Hammer. I would have had those swapped.
I think I would have as well.
Goes for a chump block there. So now
valuing protection.
Ooh, and draws a Wear Tear.
Wow. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, the Sigarda's Aid has already done its job. So you can't go creativity for 1 and still hold a reasonable tear. But yeah, getting punished for getting the Xander's Lounge there, maybe thinking like this game might go long and I might need to cast these Archons later.
Yeah.
Maybe thinking I might need 1 mana Leyline Bindings.
Oh,
but
boy.
Really needed to get a green source there, though. I don't think that it would have had to get like a Stomping Ground, which isn't great.
This is tight. All right, so Ren gets back a fetch land, presumably going to get another Dwarven Mine.
And an Archon here wouldn't, fully stabilize the battlefield since there's the Stoneforge Mystic you can throw away, but you have enough life to play around that it's still very good.
One thing Galdacott could do is creativity for 2, 1 on the dwarf, 1 on the gingerbread cookie. That would have been kind of spicy.
Yeah. But here, I actually think with the Wear Tear draw, this makes a lot of sense. We can get another Dwarven Mine here and Wear Tear plus Besage.
Yeah, I like that. And then you can Ren back Besage over and over.
Yeah. Or and probably just get the third Dwarven Mine for next turn and creativity for 2. And that's the way you take over the game. And then you back that up with Ren, Besage. Yeah, I like this sequencing here. I think the Wear Tear was a huge draw.
Yeah. Either way, this is the pressure point turn. This turn and next turn is going to dictate who wins this match and who advances, because this is really to the point. Once you do the creativity things from Galdacott, we kind of saw it in game 1. The game just ends. You still get to technically play on, but there's no coming back. Hammer doesn't, rebuild very well. Once it gets decimated.
So that has been my experience. When my opponent creativities, the game ends because then I breach them and they die.
Of course, yes. Well, that's only when we're playing the C tier deck against these A tier decks. They can't win.
I want to go back to the play the last turn though, because while the Xander's Lounge ended up being really awkward, what Goldacott did was in finding the Dwarven Mine and blocking is actually get a glimpse into Happy Sandwich's hand.
Yeah,
because Happy Sandwich could have activated Gingerbrute before blocks.
Yep.
And said, no, you're not chump blocking. The fact that they didn't is a huge signal that there's another piece of interaction there.
Yes, could be a spell pierce
or a skill. And Goldacott here is now taking a line, plays around those well. I think you're going to end up seeing Wear Tear happen first, because then it doesn't get spell pierced. And then after the Wear Tear, you could Besage you.
Very smart. I would have to agree. And
there it is.
So does Happy Sandwich.
Goes for the upkeep. Is going to find out that it's a... looks like they're going for the Gingerbrute and the Sigarda's Aid.
Yep.
And so skill on the Gingerbrute, and now...
Probably Besage you on Gingerbrute, right?
So we're going to go to 16 with a fetch here. You might want to kill the Hammer instead in case there's a second skill. If you go to 16 and then there's a second skill on the Brute and you go to kill the Brute with Besage, you're going to take 15, and now you can't fetch for another Dwarven Mine.
You're going to take 15 if they play a land and make it unblockable. Otherwise, you can just chump it with another Dwarven Mine.
Oh, true. Yeah. So they would need second skill.
It is indestructible.
Yeah, I think we're going to hit the Hammer. Ooh, a Spell Pierce drawn. That could be another backbreaker.
yeah.
Because
But to be fair, we're gonna see the same play, and this is gonna be funny. Galdecot's gonna be like, "Can I go to blocks?" And more than likely, Happy Sandwich is gonna be like, "Yeah, I guess," and just like fight through these Dwarven Mines while leaving up interaction. But especially if Happy Sandwich like goes for the unblockable here, then you hit the hammer, and then all of a sudden you take one, and then Gingerbread gets eaten by Ren. So Galdecott has played this beautifully. So has Happy Sandwich, but the agency is definitely on Galdecott to answer the stuff that's going on, and Happy Sandwich played the best they could, but yeah, it's really looking like Galdecott has the tools available to win this match.
Has played beautifully
Yeah,
in order
beautifully.
to get in order to force Happy Sandwich to basically reveal their hand.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
to play in a way that now I know what you have.
Just having to play awkwardly the whole time. And may I remind you, Happy Sandwich did mold a 5 this game.
Yes.
So it'd be a lot less awkward if, let's say, there was 2 more lands in play. This game would have probably been over.
Agreed.
But so that is unfortunate. So it's impressive work what Happy Sandwich has done with this crippling hand already. But yeah, definitely not over yet from either player.
This Spell Pierce could be huge because it looks to us like Galdecott is setting up a creativity for 2, and you're squeezed here. If you think there's another piece of interaction, it could be Blacksmith Skill. That stops creativity for 1.
Yep.
If you go for 2, then you lose to Spell Pierce. So which one do you play around?
Yeah.
I would think you play around the one they have more copies of, which is Skill, but the one they actually have is Pierce.
Good times. Good time. Isn't Magic great?
Yeah, and Galdecott really thinking, do I want to block? Because even if you hit the hammer now with Boseiju,
right
Brute
now
is still a 3/3 that's indestructible. So
right now we're still on Happy Sandwich if we're trying to go unblockable. We're still waiting on Happy Sandwich. This is the big things from them. Do I want you to take 12? Is it good? Is it not good? We know that if Happy Sandwich goes for it, Boseiju clears that up, they get a land, big deal. They either play Happy Sandwich either plays Esper Sentinel or holds up Spell Pierce, and then Gingerbread dies to Ren at worst.
And you could have seen a lot of players just get removal happy and throw the Boseiju down as well. Maybe in response to the Blacksmith Skill.
Yep.
That would then have just given the extra mana for Happy Sandwich to say, okay, I'll activate my Gingerbread.
Yeah.
And just not play the Esper Sentinel because that would tip off their hand, and then the Spell Pierce would be perfectly disguised.
Yep, 100%.
So the patience here is all part of Goldecott's plan of sussing out what exactly is in Happy Sandwich's hand, making sure that he doesn't get completely blown out by it.
Yeah, patience and just absolute mind games from each player, really trying to get in each other's head. And both players at this point are trying to deduce what could be in hand with how they played. These are both players that very much recognize that players leak information when they play cards. And, you can look back at last turn and be like, why was Galdecott thinking so much? Does he have something? And here we go. Happy Sandwich made the decision to make this unblockable. Now Galdecott knows that the coast is clear to deal with Hammer. You cannot deal with Gingerbread because it is indestructible still from the Blacksmith Skill.
You're happy here to Boseiju down the hammer.
Or do you take it? I mean, that's the other option.
And then you creativity for 2, and that clears away both creatures.
Yeah, here's the thing. That gives them a mana. So what if you just take it and you go get a Dwarven Mine and you creativity for 2 when they don't have mana? That's what Galdecott's thinking. Like, would you not play a land pre-combat when, you would have to tap your creature? Probably not. It'd be kind of a sick next level play, but I think Galdecott recognizes I will win the game if Happy Sandwich does not play land 2 and have Spell Pierce. We know that to be true. Looks like Galdecott is going for that line, which will guarantee him the win on the spot. Just really, sealing up a masterfully played game by Galdecott. Galdecott's going to go to 2. But now, this is it. 2 unless you draw it.
Yeah.
Unless you draw it right here. Are we going to attack for 1 with the dwarf first? Is the real question.
You better.
I like the no attack. You're like, the game's over. But Galdecott being Galdecott's probably going to get in there. Nah, I love it.
Ooh, might have boarded out an Archon.
Oh.
So
and hits the Gingerbread. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to make sure our thing resolves, put the trigger on the stack, now hit the Gingerbread, your Spell Pierce doesn't do anything anymore, and we'll get
Yeah.
the Stoneforge Mystic with the trigger.
Okay. Yeah, must have boarded one out. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that would make sense.
And I imagine, the Spell Pierce gets discarded, so Goldicott gets to see they had it the entire time. That's a very rewarding. Rewarding.
I also
discard.
know Goldicott as a human being will be watching this match back and be like, "Wow, I did it! I did it! This game was sick." There's really
Now,
not much.
That said, here we can go Pure Steel Paladin, then use Drum, play us for Sentinel, or either order,
and equip the Sentinel.
Now we have we can equip either creature really.
Well, you got to equip the Sentinel, or it'll just die to Ren's ping.
Yeah,
but
then
that
the
being,
Archon would clear
that
up
being said, Archon is still attacking, and it was going to be able to clean it up. So Goldicott takes.
You'd have 2 creatures there though.
Yeah, but you bounce one of them and then you attack.
Bounce one. They had it fair.
They had it to fair. Yeah.
But Happy Sandwich doesn't know that.
Didn't know that. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. What a match. That might have been the match of the weekend for me. That was really cool and just high-level magic from both players.
Yeah, very, very well played. I mean, Happy Sandwich played very well, but Goldicott on just another level there. Could have instantly lost that game to a roll to 5 multiple times, but takes his time, thinks through all the possibilities, has access to the deck list. He knows what could be there. He's got to figure out, how do I play around all of those things, and navigated them expertly.
Yeah, honestly, I think if we could rewatch that, we'd have to rewatch to like for sure confirm, but I think both players just played like flawlessly, and it so happened that's the way the cards laid, but I just don't think there were mistakes on either side. It felt like they were both playing with the information that we knew, which is perfect information.
Yeah.
They weren't. They just know what could have been on the table, and they just both played around it excellently. I mean, not playing the Ren on turn 2, which the Ren ended up taking over the game. Stuff like that was just truly next level, and that's the reason I love high-level competitive Magic like this. That was a masterpiece.